Hey guys, this is Emmanuel here again, once again with you. Let's jump into the Hyperbolic Time Chamber and let's talk about some side deck options with odd eyes. Hey guys, welcome back to another segment. We're in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber again. We're going to do some training on these side deck options with odd eyes. So let's jump into it. Let's see what we want to, what we can help you with the odd eyes, and let's see what we can do against this meta decks. A lot of people have been asking me, what do I do to go against sideboarding, because the meta, they want to go up against these meta decks that are tier 1, and that's the thing about it. Depending on your region, your locals, your local level, your regional level, and versus towards to your YCS level are all going to be different. What you play at locals is going to be, you can be playing good against all these different rogue decks, and then you get to the top tables and all of a sudden, bam, you get to meta decks. That's where you start having your problems. And when you go to regionals, you're gonna have to make sure that you're not playing at the local level no more. You're gonna have to basically go for what the meta decks are. So let's step into this and let's see what we're going at you with. One thing that everybody knows, you gotta have some hand traps. Hand traps right now are just the main thing you gotta go with. And even though Odd Eyes really doesn't have to go with hand traps, it helps against a lot of your matchups and helps you with a lot of your plays. Even though you don't want to dump a lot of money in ashes, things like that, things like Ghost Ogre can take care of a lot of your field monsters and traps and spells that activate on the field and can help you out with a lot of things. Like I said, if you're going against altar guys that start popping off with their monster effects, trap effects, crush it right then and there. The effect will go through, but you ain't got to worry about that specific card no more. Same thing with Effect Veiler. If they got that monster effect on board that's really causing you problematic situations, just go ahead and hit it. Stop them. If a lot of times you stop monsters at the right time, it stops a lot of their plays. So it can help you out a lot by doing things like that. Also, too, another thing that can be really detrimental right now is there's a lot of back row problems right now. There's a lot. The format has went to a back row heavy decks and things like that. So a lot of things you want to watch out for and help for yourself is Denko Seka. You can sneak this in. It's a normal summon. You're really not going to be really reliant on your normal summons in the deck. You can pin summon and just put on massive damage. But like I said, you get that normal summon, lock down their back row, and just start going for hit damage after that. Also, too, the Dino Wrestlers, especially this one, the fact that he's a level 7 helps out the deck a lot. Also, too, if they have something like, anti-spell up, you can special summon this, pop the anti-spell, go with your plays from there. Things like that can really help you out a lot with a lot of your side deck options. Something else too that can be thought of too is, because we're in a back heavy format, the artifact engine is still, in my opinion, relative, because there's a lot of things that the artifacts can help out against. There's a lot of decks that like to banish off cards. Artifact Lancia can help it with that situation. There's a lot of decks that want to U-lock you. A lot of decks that want to bring things out of the extra deck. Your artifact side can help you stop that stuff and slow them down to the point to where you say, okay, we're about the same speed now. Let you kill your turn. Let me go off the next turn. That's where your Sanctum comes in play. Like I said, if you start setting these back, they're going to want to try to pick off your back row. So if you got Sanctum on there, you might be able to get it with them, special summon straight from the deck. Also too, if you have these set, they blow them up and they're still going to slow them down. That way you can get your plays going the way you want to when you want to start making your plays. Also too, along that, you got your floodgates. Floodgates are something that every deck is really going into right now, and it can really be detrimental to them. And one of the two that most people are using right now are Goes in Match and Rivalry Warlords. But the thing about these two is you might not want to drop the money on them. Also too, they could be very situational depending on what deck you're going up against. A lot of top tier decks can go around Rivalry. Goes in Match is a little bit better, but at the same time, there's still plays that you want to make that does not work out for Gozen. So, something that you might want to do, let's say you're going against something that's, really crazy, you don't want to have a bunch of monsters out there, you can still use Dragon's Bind. That can be a very good option for you for the decks that you got. You got a lot of monsters that are low levels, they're not bumping out real beefy monsters like that over your monsters, so this could be something that can be detrimental to your opponent. Also too, there's a lot of decks, like I said, that want to banish things out, and if you can make sure you keep them from doing their banish thing, that can really slow them down to the point where you can do the plays that you want to do. Also too, the same thing with Royal Decree. Royal Decree can really slow down your Altergeist matchup. they still gonna want to make those back row plays, and if they can't do that, that can really slow them down. Also too, be mindful of this in your Paleozoic matchup. They can still activate their effects, so they're still gonna be able to chain things like that. So you gotta be able to make sure you watch out for that, even though you got this card up. Something that you want to run regardless, if you don't want to put the money into things like Mistake, things of that nature, you can always run things like Mind Crush. Mind Crush is just like Mistake. Whenever your opponent searches out the card, hit the card that they search, call that card name, send it on to the graveyard, any other copies. The main thing about this is you want to get the insight to what's in their hand. The being able to look at their hand and see what plays they can make follow up after that play, that's what you really want to worry about. Also too, things like Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier, there's a lot of rogue decks that you can go up against and meta decks that you can go up against that you can easily stop them by just slowing down and saying whatever main monster fusion, ritual, XYZ, whatever could be the possible problem, just call that right then and there and stop everything right then and there, and that can help you out with a lot of your plays. One of the main cards I feel, especially with a lot of your meta matchups for Odd Eyes, that can really be useful to you is Red Reboot. This, in my opinion, for Odd Eyes right now is a 3 of in your side deck options. To be able to have this out there, if you're going against Paleo and they flip, if they do not have something to stop this, you pretty much are telling them that you're winning it right then and there. Same thing with a lot of your Altergeist matchups and other traps, heavy base decks as well. To be able to flip this or drop it from your hand is very, very good if you're going for that good OTK push, and that's going to give you a clear push that you want to do. Also too, for your spell options, you always want to make sure you have in the Raigeki and your Dark Hole. Sometimes, even though you don't want to destroy your field because you got a good field presence, sometimes getting that monster off the board over there could be very useful. You're still going to be able to pin some, and you'll be able to do hefty amount of damage, and still you can set up to make sure that you can either do things like you can burn the opponent for the rest of the damage through their plays that they make, or things of that nature. So that's very useful. Also too, you want to make sure the back row is cleared off. You don't want to run into any problems by trying to attack. So you want to make sure you got your Twin Twisters in there, because like Anti-Spell Fragrance, a lot of decks want to run that against you because pendulums can be a problem. If they flip that, that's pretty much, it's going to put you in a really bad position. So being able to make sure you have your Twin Twisters to clear things out is very, very useful. Also too, another option are your Forbidden cards. For instance, Forbidden Chalice. Forbidden Chalice is a very good card. It's just like Effect Veiler. You play this from your hand. Like I said, if you're going against a Thunder Dragon matchup, you can end up negating that effect. That way you can start doing your searches the way you need to. Yes, you gave him a bump up boost, but you can be able to overcome that. Also too, the same thing with the Forbidden Scriptures. Any type of effect that's on the field that's happening right then and there, you can stop it with this card effect. Clear everything out. Make sure all those effects are stopped right then and there. Drop everybody's ATK to the original stats and be able to do the plays that you want to do. Another card that is also very good in the Thunder Dragon matchup is also your Book of Eclipse. You do not like the fact that your opponent can draw cards after the end, but the thing about it is, if you can flip that monster face down that's being a problematic monster to you, that can help you to make sure that you can get your searches off, get the plays you want to get. Also too, the main thing, if your opponent has too big of attack and you're able to flip the monster face down with a lot of defense, even if you're not doing the damage on board, you're getting the problem out the way. And that could be, you know, the big difference between the game win and the game loss. So that's something that you want to keep in mind whenever you play in Book of Eclipses also. But that's it for it, guys. You know, if you like this section, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what side deck options you think should be good going against a lot of the meta decks or even rogue decks right now. Leave a comment. Be sure, if you want to see more videos like that, Gallic Gun that subscribe button. Thanks, you guys. It means a lot to us. We're out.
Quiet. You've said quite enough. Our training is not to be discussed, ever.